Hey guys, Hyperlink here. We're going to try something a little bit different today. So my amazing husband bought me a PlayStation VR. So I am pretty pumped about this. This isn't something that I think I'll really be doing regularly on the channel, but I thought it would be kind of cool to unbox this and kind of do like a little bit of a first impression. So I've had a PlayStation 4 for a little while now. I've had it about a year. And I do play a lot of the titles that come on like Battlefield and I'm trying to think of a couple of Skyrim. I played on PlayStation 3. I haven't got the remastered for the PlayStation yet. Little Big Planet, stuff like that. I don't play those games for the channel right now because we have a separate media room, and the way that our PlayStation is set up, it's not really conducive to try and like do something like Twitch or anything like that. But we moved it into the living room, and I thought it would be kind of cool to just do a little bit of the unboxing. So what I've already done ahead of time, we moved the PlayStation into our living room, and we have the camera set up. You have to buy the camera separately if you don't already have that with the PlayStation 4. We moved it down here. The HDMI is hooked up. I have no idea if the camera is set up the way it needs to be for this to get to work. So what I wanted to do was just kind of show you what comes in the box, show you me putting it on my head for the first time. I've only watched one small clip of how this works, so it'll be a learning experience for both of us, and then I'll do a little bit of recording of me playing it. We purchased the Arkham Batman game to go with it. When my husband picked it up at Best Buy for me, he told me there's about 4 games that were in the store, and the Batman one looked probably the coolest for now. So obviously this hasn't been out for very long, so I'm sure we'll be seeing more titles coming up. So let's dig into the box. Okay, so let's take this puppy out. So this was about $3.99 at Best Buy, and the game cost about 20 bucks. So part of the other reason that we went ahead and picked that game up was, you know, there were a few other titles there, but they're running about $60. So pretty typical for a lot of the games right now. Instructions, I'm sure I'll have to figure out how to hook all this up with the directions. One thing I did watch in another tutorial was that this was not a super easy plug and play, so we'll be making sure we leave that out. And let's see what we've got here. All right, so let's take this box out. A couple of accessory packs here. Ooh, a demo disc. Probably a couple fun little games on that as well. Okay. Cables, pretty standard, and then of course the headset. Now one thing I thought was pretty cool about some of the comparison things that I'd seen on the PlayStation VR was that this is supposed to fit much nicer on your head if you're a glasses wearer, and I thought that that was a really nice feature. I do wear glasses. I don't typically wear them when I game. When I'm wearing headphones and things like that, it kind of pushes down on my ears, so I will be testing that out later on just to kind of see how that feels. So initially, it's a little not heavy, that's probably not the right term, but it's a little bit heavier, and you know, wearing this on your head, I've heard that the ergonomics are great, so we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna have to take this beanie off when I put it on. I've got hat head, so that'll be fun. So let's just take a quick look in here. I'm sure these are all just accessories for the cables and things like that. Setting all the instructions aside. Nice, they're numbered, which I'm sure that's gonna go directly to the instructions. So again, I'm not super educated on how this setup works, but I do know this is sort of like a jumper box that's going to be going in between your PlayStation and the TV. So when I dig into the directions, I'll probably go ahead and hook all this up and then show you guys afterwards how that works, how that gets connected, just to save you the painstaking footage of me, you know, lumbering through it. But it looks like it should be fairly simple. Things are numbered, and you know, if we're going 1, 2, 3 here, we'll take a look. On while recording. Pretty hilarious. For some reason, the audio on my GoPro decided to get really staticky, so I am dubbing over. This is my friend Olivia. She was super sick, so we called her my supervisor. I'm just showing here that essentially the cords were pretty simple to hook up. It was just a 1, 2, 3, 4 type of situation. And then the last part of the install is to just hook up the headset to the dangling cord. You know, I was saying that I was kind of surprised that it was something that was sort of free, like it was connected. It wasn't something that was wireless. I don't know why I thought that the VR systems had gotten to that far yet, but you have to have it hooked up, and then there's a power button that you have to turn on. So, I'm turning on the PlayStation, just trying to go ahead and allow it the opportunity to check and make sure there doesn't need to be a system update. You need to make sure you have the latest version of software installed for your PlayStation. And then once you turn on the headset, essentially the PlayStation recognizes that you have new hardware, just like if you were to install something on your computer. Once you plug in the headset into the cable and turn it on, the little power button that's on the side there on the cable, essentially the PlayStation recognizes that it's been turned on for the first time, and it prompts you to download the software. So again, this was a step that I thought I was sort of led to believe that it wasn't really intuitive, but the PlayStation picked up on it immediately, and I was really thankful that I didn't have to go into some weird user setting in the preferences or something to try and get this to install. So really simple to do. It downloaded right away, and then it goes ahead and prompts you whenever you're ready to get started. I also noticed that it does prompt you to put the headphones in. So that was kind of an interesting thing, because it kind of reminds you, hey, if you really want that full immersive 3D experience, to put those on, and they're just little tiny, earbuds that go into your ear. So I know it's not the same if you have to repeat a joke, but I am telling my friend Olivia here that at least we do have some technology that's still coming with headphones. Now, once you plug in the headphones, you do feel like you're a little bit swallowed in cord. So it's a tiny bit disorienting, because you have the cord coming from the headset that plugs into the PlayStation, and then you also have the earbuds, which kind of feel like they're getting in the way. So if you're putting this on for the first time, you might want to just skip the headphones, just to kind of get a feel for how everything goes on. So the piece on the back of the headset has a little button, and you can just pull it out and expand it so that you can get the idea of where you're going to want it to fit on your head, so it fits comfortably for the VR to sit on your forehead, and then that back piece to sit nicely on the back of your head. The actual VR piece on the front, I think they call it the scope. There's a button on there that you pull forward, and that allows you to be able to see if you need to pull it out so you can kind of see the ground. When you push the scope all the way towards your face, you have no light leak pretty much whatsoever. It's actually a really nice block off to not see any of the outside world. So when you put it on for the first time, you're actually seeing the PlayStation menu, which is great. You don't have to try and do anything to be able to see the TV. Anybody else who's in the room can see the TV, and they can see what you're seeing as you move. Even the PlayStation menu moves. And as you move up and down, parts of it fade sort of in and out, so that your direct field of view, the direct thing that's in focus, is wherever you're sort of moving your head, and that's the piece that's in focus. So I thought that was a really great way to introduce the set to you. You're seeing the menu, it's something that's already familiar. And then as soon as you're putting it on, you can interact with it. And of course, I'm using the controller to be able to move through the screens as I go. If you've never put on a VR headset before, I think this smile is worth noting, that it was just a really cool experience, and I was so blown away by just how great of a picture it was, and how it just really picks up on your responses. So I thought I'd leave this in. Alright, so obviously I can't see the computer screen, but my lovely supervisor back here is telling me that essentially as I move, it's like everything that I'm seeing, they're seeing. So that's pretty cool as an immersive sort of experience. One thing it did prompt me was there are, I guess, handhold remotes that come with this, and it recommended that you use that for the best experience. We didn't pick that up this round. Maybe next time around. Okay, initial reaction. This is insane. So it's a completely 360 experience. Again, I don't really know what I was expecting. I didn't do a ton of research on this before we just went in and bought it. But I can see how people would fall over, because it literally looks like there's a handrail right here. Obviously, because I don't have the handheld controllers, I'm not seeing my hands. I think when you have those remotes, that's kind of what that does. It really puts you into the game. But just looking down, I mean, I'm seeing rain, I'm seeing leaves. It looks like I'm standing on this balcony here. Obviously, the bat symbol here, Gotham behind me, and we've got the bat signal in the sky. So this is fantastic. The picture quality is really clear. One thing that I did here was that, you know, we're so used to these crystal clear experiences on our super wide TV screens that the pixel count is a little bit different than maybe what we're used to. But honestly, you're completely submersed. So I don't feel like I'm like losing any sort of game experience here. This is great. So just starting up the game, I just want to check out a little bit of it with you guys to kind of get my initial reactions. But this is incredible. Tripped out right now. You're kind of freaking me out, lady. Thanks, Mama. So because I am sort of child size, right? Like she is bigger than life to me. It really feels like with the quality of the graphics that I've got them both standing here in front of me, it's kind of tripping me out. Like I can move around, like I can sort of put my head down and like I can see this guy, I can see his gun, I can see his face. If I kind of scoot my head over a little bit, obviously I'm behind Mom now, so the famous Batman scene, we all know what happens here. I'm coming after you. This is incredible graphics. I can see his face completely. This is like A+ stuff. So now I am obviously Batman, so I'm significantly taller than Alfred here. I can look behind him, I can see back into this open doorway, and I'm taller, so the entire experience is 360 still, but my, you know, direction has changed. So yeah, initial reaction, guys, this is just fantastic. You know, I'm definitely giving this a thumbs up. I obviously now have the ability to interact with stuff as I look. Everything is interactive and completely something that I am able to be immersed with, which I think is the whole point of this type of system, right? You want to be immersive in the game, and this does this. So PlayStation, incredible job. Definitely some great stuff here, guys. You gotta put this on your head. You gotta try this out. So overall, guys, the setup for this was actually a lot more simple than I was led to believe. Like I said, when I watched an initial video, I was under the impression that the setup was going to be a little bit more complex. Once you get it to register that, hey, you got everything plugged in and you turn it on, the PlayStation does the work for you. So I thought it was going to be cumbersome or difficult, and it really wasn't. And, you know, once I put it on, it was a completely immersive experience, which I've never tried any sort of VR before, so this was a whole new experience for me, and I definitely recommend it. Obviously, the price is probably a little bit higher than maybe what more people are really willing to spend. I typically am not one of those people that go out and spend money on a first-generation type of system, but I would say that seeing as how PlayStation tends to really spend the time to get things right, at least in my experience, you know, I wasn't, you know, concerned about going ahead and purchasing this product. VR's been on the market for a while, so I hope that they've done their research and that the game development will continue to be A+ type of stuff. Again, you know, I think this is a great experience for anybody who's just looking to do something a little bit different with their gaming. You know, it's taking it to that next level. And what I think is cool about this is it kind of brings back that interaction that I used to have when I was a kid. So everybody was kind of sitting in here watching me play it, and they were seeing what I was seeing. And so as I would move, they would be like, you know, look to the right or look to the left. And I think that that is one of the things that I really miss about gaming. You all used to sit in a room together and just play games and take turns and stuff, and with this you have the ability to do that, and it really brings more of a sense of community. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is something a little bit different that I haven't done before. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of this type of stuff on my channel, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'm not really sure how much of this I'm going to put out there. You know, I haven't really done a lot of PlayStation type of things. You know, who knows, maybe I'll even try to figure out how to go on Twitch and broadcast or something like that. But feel free to leave a comment if that's something you guys want to see. Until next time, bye-bye.